Ladies and gentlemen, we spent here on this channel a lot of time reconstructing the original meaning of the historical metronome marks. What did Beethoven had in mind when he metronomized his Fifth Symphony, Schumann, Chopin, you name it, all the composers that we love and admire today. And we figured out that what they had in mind was not similar to what we think they had in mind. Instead of this, they had this in mind. And if you think, well, that's fine and interesting, but you know, I like the music as it's played today, that's fine, by the way. But there is one thing that I can promise you, you will be interested in if once you know the consequences of just wanting to chase for the wrong tempo, for the wrong metronome reading, for reaching speeds that are here far beyond what we humans actually can reproduce. But once you realize that conservatories, that musicians, that the audience also is pushing our poor musicians to just go further and further and further, practice more, have more, and just more injuries. What is your reaction to that? Yes, metronome mark reconstruction gives a totally new musical experience. But beyond that, what the wrong reading of metronome marks today is causing to an entire generation and probably generations of musicians is beyond words. For instance, what would you say to this, the latest invention? When you look at the picture, you would say, okay, this is just a robotic device that helps musicians or people with a disability to just play the piano, and then would probably this is a great device for that. But it's not designed for this. This is designed exactly as it is in the title to help musicians breaking the musical ceiling. The musical ceiling. I don't even know what that means. I'm going to take you to the website of the company that invented this. It's, by the way, designed and invented by a pianist, a professional pianist. Guess what? After having injuries and all the kind of stuff that we'll be talking about of this channel so many times, instead of thinking, how do I come in this place? By changing the wrong metronome marks. I can tell you that even though if you would ask them, they would say to you, me, metronome marks, good sir, how dare you, so unmusical. Yes, you're changing them, because the only reason that people today want to play faster and faster and faster and faster is exactly because of these metronome marks. Just think these metronome marks away, abandon them. Imagine they would have never been given. The metronome does not exist. There would be no way that people are practicing so much to hurt themselves, basically to the point where they cannot play anymore. They have to start inventing new things in order to play even faster. And so what these guys are saying, we make something that break the musical ceiling. No, it's a technical ceiling. Actually, you could say it's a human ceiling. Our body, our nerve and muscular system is not designed to play 15, 16, 20, 25 notes a second. And whoever cannot think about that for themselves, well, I'm at a loss of words. We're going to listen to here. It's not a video by the company. It's just someone commenting on the device, but you get a nice summary of what the device is capable of and what's the true meaning of it. And then we're going to check out the website.
Breaking the musical ceiling, the robotic hand revolutionizing piano practice. Many pianists and other working to master a skill hits what's called the ceiling effect. It's when, after years of training, progress seems to stall no matter how hard you try. For pianists, this means feeling stuck on challenging pieces or risking injury from over-practicing. Enter Sashini Fafara, an award-winning pianist and scientist who decided to tackle this problem head-on, literally. After injuring his hand from overtraining, he developed a robotic hand that helps pianists practice passively. This powered exoskeleton fits over the hand and guides your fingers through precise, complex movements, teaching the muscles to perform advanced techniques. It's like having a personal coach that never gets tired. In tests with 118 pianists, the device showed remarkable results. Their fingers moved faster and struck the keys with greater accuracy. Surprisingly, the untrained hand improved too, thanks to the brain's ability to learn through passive physical motion. Fiora's invention is more than just a tool, it's a breakthrough. For pianists, it offers a way to safely suppress performance plateaus, and for the rest of us, it's a reminder that sometimes a little extra support can go a long way. This robot hand shows that even when progress feels out of reach, innovation can help unlock new potential.
I actually clicked a little bit here on the double speed with what he said at the end. Let's listen to that again.
This robot hand shows that even when progress feels out of reach, innovation can help unlock new potential.
I'm at a loss of words. I don't know what to say. You have to just stick with me. Why do pianists feel that I have reached their ceiling? Why? What's wrong with the way they're playing? What's wrong with reaching, with hitting their ceiling? You know, I tell you what's wrong. It's the idea that people in the 19th century played way faster than we, based on a wrong reading of the metronome marks, and whoever supports a single beat reading, still, after hearing some of my videos, has to watch him or herself in the mirror and say like, am I pushing for this reading? This is what happens. This is what happens. This is just a new technology. I mean, robotic hands probably not new, but to just the idea to combine the robotic like possibilities to a pianistic hand in order to overcome technical boundaries is just the beginning of something that opens like a new path for insanity beyond imagination. If this is going to break through, are you gonna send your daughter or your son to conservatory tomorrow? Because he or she will be expected to play like that. I'm gonna take you to the website here of the developers. There are a lot of fancy words here. Musical dynaformics is a discipline for overcoming the ceiling effect, of embodying creativity of musicians through elucidating neurophysiological. So, brain, we talked about the brain and the possibility of the brain. Why do people reach their ceiling? It's not only physical, it's not only your just muscular and your nerve system that's just not designed to do that, what the historical metronome marks seem to suggest. It's also your brain. Your brain is, poor brain, after so many million years of evolution, it's not capable of just giving the impulses time and time after again. We made a video long time ago, it will also be in the book, about Josh Wright demonstrating, the famous pianist on YouTube. He's a great virtuoso, right? You don't get any better than that. And so he's demonstrating the maximum speed.
Okay, let's try 184.
No, you didn't make a mistake. It was your brain that was out of RAM memory. I don't know in English how to pronounce it. It's your inner core memory of the computer. We have something like that as well. Impulses coming in, impulses going out. When you have too much demand for your brain, even though it's like insanely fast, it cannot provide enough impulses to keep you going and just stop. So he didn't make a mistake. He was just run out of brain power. Loss and restoration of musical expertise, I mean, really, and excellence. That's like, you could say like, yeah, but it's obviously not true. I mean, they mean physical capacity and expertise. No. Today, we start from the idea, and I'm going to repeat myself a lot in this video, we start from the idea that when you listen to Karl Czerny or Beethoven or whatever, I just take Czerny here because it's the best example I can take, then when you hear this, it's not fast enough. That's the whole beat reading of the metronome mark. Basically, you divide everything by 2. No? We keep saying to our students that what we want to hear, the actual speed is this. And now everybody who is there like the single beat defenders also in my community, they will say, yeah, but no, Czerny is always, no, these metronome marks were accurate tempi. Even Czerny is saying it in this bundle, the Opus 299. So you have to tell me that there will not be to come a point in history where they say with these tools, like, listen, now we have that, now we can reach maybe those speeds. And I have news for you. We cannot. You will further destroy your body, your psychological. Are you going to play a concert with this? Probably not, or probably yes. I don't know how insane this classical music world still can become. I have no idea. But from what I have seen, there seems to be no ceilings at all. Let's continue and let's skip this bullshit text here because it's really like, yeah, whatever. But then, so I'm nothing against research and researching this, but why do they do that? Virtuosity science. And I get it. You want, they are just probably creating a new product, so to say, that they want to sell. And so they try to come up with fancy titles, but they probably, this is not a cheap project. I can imagine that these guys have also like a kind of department or people that just help them with promoting this stuff. And so what do? You tap into what the world wants to read. Virtuosity science. I can guarantee you that a lot of professional pianists would be very interested to try this out. You will probably not see it in the first time on at the front end of YouTube or whatever social media people are using. But I can promise you that people will be trying this out. We recently made a lot of videos actually, but very recently about Annie Gutler. She's a professional pianist, wanted to just push through her ceilings with the Chopin etudes, pushing. And you go back and check that video out, and I will feature also what happened to her hand while she was recording the Chopin etudes. She couldn't play anymore after just 1 day of recording. I mean, they're gonna try this because that's the solution, as if the people in the 19th century had these kind of stuff. I can make a video on what people in the 19th century had of like devices to help them play better and faster. You won't be very happy with that. The 19th century, guys, is exactly the same time as now. They were just pushing for the boundaries, and we still are doing that. The 19th century, just because they liked virtuosity and progress of art, was just in their nature. We partly do that as well. But now we start to look behind our shoulders, over our shoulders to the past, and we see all these crazy metronome marks. And more people say like, it's probably possible on these fast light pianos. It's not because we tried it. Okay, then what's wrong with us? We lost somehow the powers that is necessary to play Chopin as Chopin wanted us to play. Well, that's of course BS. We know that, you know that, but the majority of the world doesn't know that. And when pianists go on stage, they'll have to play like that, and the faster, the better. So what do? We do some research, and we call it virtuosity science. Sensory motor skills for musical excellence. Speed equals musical excellence. And now before you jump into the comment section, you're like, yeah, everybody with 2 functional brain cells will know that this is nonsense. No, this is how the world thinks today about music. When are you a virtuoso player? When you can play a lot of notes per second. When you can play complex chord combinations. And that's set equal to virtuosity, is set equal to musicality. This is a perfect summary of what today is like. Virtuosity science for musical excellence. We have to get better, faster. Just go on YouTube and type in how to play the piano faster. You will be amazed how many pianists are there out to try to make a career, like making you come to their channel or their courses or their books to just make you feel faster. And it's not only professionals. Amateurs are suffering from this as well. Go to the Reddit posts about Chopin etudes and like just read what people have to say. It's sometimes heartbreaking because they don't enjoy their time anymore because they have a constant feeling of falling short to what that demigod Chopin had in mind. It's unbelievable. Let's scroll further because it gets worse. Optimize musical practice. Well, yeah. Augmenting technology beyond limits of musicians' expertise. Yeah, that's of course what we need to do if we want to play music according to this single beat dogma. And I'm saying that with all respect. When people say dogmatic person to me, they don't say it with respect, but single beat is a dogma. You believe in something to have existed in one time of history for which you have no proven reality. And dogma is not a bad thing. When you believe in God, that's a dogma as well. You cannot prove that. You accept that. Therefore, it's called a belief. So single beat is a belief. You believe in something again, of which you cannot show the results of today. And in music, I have bad news for all of them that do. That's the only way to prove you're right. It's not enough to say like, yeah, it cannot have been different. Well, the facts show it was different. So let's scroll further. The dark side of musical practice, of music practice. Prevention of musicians' injuries. Well, this is going to prevent, of course, musicians' injuries. Here, look at that. rehabilitation. You know why that's necessary? Focal dystonia, that's a disease among guitarists apparently, or pianists. You practice so much over and over and over again the same passages that you just cannot play, and guess what happens? Your brain gets confused, and one morning you wake up and you want to move your second finger and your third finger moves. There is actually not a cure for that. They have no idea how to cure that. Performance anxiety. Well, I guess pushing for more speeds is going to make musicians less anxious, right? To go on stage. They're dying to go on stage because it's not only to push beyond their limits, to go faster, to actually create something that is faster than they can think. That's why all these people call our tempi, practicing tempo, because that's what they do constantly. You have to feed your brain constantly with the right impulses, because guess what? When you push yourself beyond a certain threshold, that is not feasible, that's not reachable actually by brain power alone, or like a conscious way of using your brain, like reading notes and just interpreting that eye-hand coordination and play. No, you depend on motorical skills only, but that's a very poor memory. It's a powerful memory. It's guaranteeing us to just function in the day, but for your fine motorical skill, it's very poor, because it is not designed to remember thousands of combinations in the speed that you can actually not control consciously. It's going beyond a speed that is still capable for your brain, and therefore are people anxious. And so now you're going to invent a device that push the speeds, challenge the ceiling, so to say, and you say like, we're going to battle anxiety. Well, good luck with that. And then publication list. If you think that this guy is an idiot, I have no idea who it is, by the way. Publication list, peer reviewed. So people say of me like, where is your peer-reviewed article, good sir? Because you are actually selling us a conspiracy theory. But someone who invents like a stupid, dangerous device like this guy, well, he gets peer-reviewed. And guys, I have nothing against peer-reviewed publications. In many academic instances, that's like, I mean, this guy is not an idiot, huh? Apparently, or his team. I mean, if this is all true, I mean, you will be able to check it, right? Then this is quite impressive. And I mean, making a device like that, I mean, just think about, you start the idea of making something like that. Good luck with trying to find your funds to just funding this. This is extremely expensive. How many people would be working on this? I have no idea. 180 pianists is this really in their basket like of experimentation. That's incredible. But for one reason only, to reach those metronome marks in single beat. That's the only thing that drives that. And so therefore, I come back to what I said at the beginning of the video. If you look at our work and you say, like, these are the guys of the metronome reconstruction, they're like, yeah, whatever. I mean, it's so musical and I don't like their results. I know many of you watching right now, that's not the case for you. But I mean, there are a lot of people, and even when I know people, as I said, like that just are fine with our research and the outcomes are like, whatever. I mean, it's not like, that's like, yeah, with music is evolution. Well, that's the evolution. But it's the only reason that people are wanting to play faster and faster and faster are the metronome marks. And so, guys, this is maybe one of the most important videos I ever made, because that's the evolution. If you stick to the single beat side, if you stick to this virtuosic stage scenery, whatever, with pianists and musicians competing with each other for the fastest Chopin, for the fastest Schumann, for the fastest Beethoven, and don't say they're not, they are competing for that. Well, that's the world where you come in. And it's one of the most powerful takeaways of our metronome research. It's not only reconstructing the idea of the composer, it's not only opening all these multi-layered compositions like the symphonies and all these great works and uncompress it and display it to the listener, but it's also this kind of insane bullshit. That's the only way I can describe it. Leave it in the comments. What's your impression to that? If you're afraid of this, and what your take is of the metronome marks and the metronome mark reconstruction, the reading reconstruction, I should say. I'm very much looking forward to reading that. Okay, guys, that was it for today. Not gonna stop without a big shout out to my Patreons. They make everything possible for me recording these videos to you. Check it out. There's now also a free section on Patreon. You can check it out. I'm uploading their pictures and sometimes the things that I'm doing, a kind of now section. But of course, we have also cool content, podcasts, updates, practicing sessions, concerts that I play, and all that good stuff. So if you want to keep me going and my team, then that's the place to be. Other than just checking out our website for all the cool stuff that's over there. Okay, thanks for watching. We see each other very soon again. Bye.